Hi, it's Tim Conti. No matter what size organization you are or how much technical resources you have internally, whether you have a dedicated IT team or not, it's hard to keep up with today's technology landscape. The reality is there are hundreds of vendors moving into the market every day, some of them good, some of them not so good. And it's really hard for any business leader or IT leader to keep up with the rapid pace of change. Here at Centerlined, we have an automated tool that we use that allows us to down select the market quicker than you can do it on your own. And I often start the demo just with a lay of the land of the different vendors we support. It's everything from cloud-based contact centers, cloud consumption services from Azure, from AWS, co-location, internet connectivity, SD-WAN, if you've heard of that, and most importantly, security, cybersecurity. We've got a number of vendors that play really well in that space. And then lastly, unified communications. Here on the left-hand side are all the product categories we support. I can obviously uncheck a box, and let's say that I am looking for a new security solution for my business. Just click on security, and here you'll see all the vendors that we currently support that are in this space. Some like Akamai, who provides a lot of services to folks like Netflix. For our larger opportunities, they're a great fit. We also have some smaller opportunities from American Eagle, and that's not the clothing store. It's American Eagle is a cloud service provider that actually does a lot of work at United Airlines here locally in Chicago. Ariaka's in the SD-WAN space. Big Belief, Blue Mantis. You know, you can see I'm only in the C's right now, and you can see how many vendors there are here. I'll pick on Cloudflare. They had an outage today. No bueno. But when we look at Cloudflare, what we have access to is just a quick overview of, you know, where they're from, where they're based, how many employees, a little bit of snippet on the solution. We can download the vendor white papers from here. We have a dedicated sales engineer resource that does a write-up specifically on Cloudflare in this case. Think of that as like an elevator pitch, right? So if you want to just know exactly where they're a fit based on our engineers' recommendations, it's a good place to go. Key features, differentiators, and then lastly, top industries served. We also find that customers like to work with other customers that are in their market, in their vertical. So legal firms will sometimes follow the technology direction of other law firms, and vice versa. One really interesting thing I wanted to show you, and right, I'm big on reviews. I review everything nowadays. Sometimes hard to figure out what reviews are real and what are fake. But we, as part of our service, we do a survey directly to the end customer. So in this particular case, this is a survey where the client chose Cloudflare through us, signed a contract, and then we go in directly, without the service provider being part of it, we survey the client directly to ask them specifically about how Cloudflare did. Now, 15 respondents, not a ton, but one thing I can tell you is first, these have been heavily vetted. We're going to the exact people that bought the solution. It's impossible to get a fake review on this site by the way we authenticate and whatnot. But what you see here is everything from billing experience, customer sales experience, customer satisfaction with vendor, deployment implementation with vendor, that one's actually huge, and then solution delivered as expected, and then we do a rating. We compare Cloudflare in this case versus the industry. So the top one is Cloudflare. They scored a 4.0 on billing. The industry is a 3.7, so a little better. Their marks are 4.4 versus a 4.3. So I'm just doing a quick snapshot. They look pretty good. And another video, I'll show you one that doesn't look so good. One of the other areas that's absolutely critical is when you buy technology, oftentimes the minute that ink is dry, that sales rep that sold you the solution is moving on to the next opportunity. With us, we have executive level contacts for escalation should anything go wrong in your environment. We don't expect that it will, but you know, example today, you know, November 17th, Cloudflare had a nationwide global outage that affected a lot of big websites out there. When you're having issues, we have a direct kind of line or chain of command to work with those providers or to escalate directly on your behalf. Case studies down below. That's probably it from there. So I'll go back to provider search. And again, we can do this for every single vendor in the market. It allows us to quickly find the right solution for you. I know a lot of TechNexus customers are doing a lot in the cloud compute space. So for here, we've got the ability to not work with Amazon directly, AWS, but work with service providers that have direct relationships with AWS. Oftentimes, having a technology company that specifies or works on a specific tech stack like Amazon, there's a lot of value there versus going directly to the source. When I say value, customer service, pricing, those types of things. So that's what I have for you today in the provider portfolio. What I'll leave you with is, no matter where you are in your technology journey, if you have a need for any of these product categories that I mentioned earlier, reach out to us. One call and we do all the work. We're going to bring in competitive bids. We're going to help you down select the market. We're going to bring 3 or 4 qualified vendors to the table, depending on what your requirements are. So everything that we do is custom. But instead of having to Google these providers, reach out to them directly, run different sales calls and whatnot, and answer questions like what keeps you up at night. Gotta love that one. You just call to us and our team. We'll vet these providers for you. We run like a mini RFP. We don't have to go do a full-blown request for proposal, but more like a request for information. Get your pricing as quickly as we can. Set up demos for you. Project manage the implementation. All that's part of the service. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.